All right, welcome back. Joining me now is David Pine. We have incoming. We have a level 4 solar flare that has broken off. I guess there are 6 of these headed this direction. Here's one of the screenshots of it. Sun emits massive solar flare. The X4 flare, one of the most potent, was emitted by the sun this morning. There was also, even if I could find it here, a report put out by, here it is. This is by NOAA. Space weather scale descriptions can be found. Potential impacts of this one that are supposed to be hitting now, and I guess there's 6 of them between now and the next couple of days. Potential impacts. Area of impact primarily poleward of 45 degrees geomagnetic latitude. Induced currents, possible widespread voltage control problems, and some protective systems may mistakenly trip out key assets from the power grid. Induced pipeline currents intensify. For spacecraft, systems may experience surface charging. Satellites, those may not work right. Tracking and orientation problems, navigation, satellite navigation, GPS, what we know as GPS, may not work for a while. Your regular terrestrial radio may go down. Joining me to talk about all this is David Pine. This is right in his wheelhouse. I've been tracking this since last night. I wanted to call him because he and the late Dr. Pry warned about this for years and years. David, welcome back to the broadcast. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Brandon. Great to be back on the show.
Yeah, thank you. We talk about EMP and all this kind of thing, but Peter Pry was warning this kind of thing had happened. It happened back during the telegraph days, and the telegraph wires all burned up, right?
Yeah, back in 1859, there was the Carotene event, which was a G5, a severe G5 geomagnetic storm, which even took out, burned the telegraph stations and the telegraph wires. People had to go to the hospital with, burn injuries. So unfortunately, the Earth is, civilization is much more electronically dependent today. So the chances of, massive power outages and civilizational impact, including, fires, are much greater. And this, as you alluded to, this is a severe G4 storm. It's we haven't seen this level of super geomagnetic storm for 19 years. It's the first time that we've received a severe super solar storm watch since 2005. A less, or rather a more powerful storm in 1989 took out the entire Canadian power grid for 9 hours. I don't expect that, because this is obviously isn't a G5, it's a G4. We could see temporary localized blackouts, as you mentioned, some communication disruptions, and GPS outages as well.
Well, I am reading also that some of these reports are saying that over the weekend, one of them might be a G5. So, I mean, that's all prediction, but if we got to a G5, that'd be a real issue, right, David?
Yeah, obviously. So, I mean, these are categorized. If it was a G5, it would be considered a less strong or a weaker G5. So it wouldn't be catastrophic. But a G5, even a weak G5, as I stated, could take out our power electrical grid either regionally or perhaps even nationally for a period of several hours. And as you mentioned, Peter Pry, before as our courageous visionary leader of the Task Force on National Homeland Security, warned that a global super solar storm, which is much overdue. It's supposed to be every 150 years. That would have placed it in 2009. So we're now 15 years overdue for this type of catastrophe. Would have global effect. And Russia and China, North Korea, Israel, perhaps South Africa, those are countries that have hardened their grids against EMP effects, including super solar storms. Unfortunately, the U.S. has done little to nothing to protect our own citizens against this catastrophic threat that could potentially kill 275 million Americans, after a maximal G5 storm.
Wow. Do you think this is something that will now, are we in a phase where this continues? I mean, I read once, whether the report's right, that these cycle sometimes. And if you know, do you know how often they cycle and how long is the cycle? In other words, is this the beginning of a cycle, and how long should we expect these things to occur?
So this is we're in there's a 10 to 12 year solar cycle, maybe 11 years on average. We're currently in the more severe, stage where the sun is more active. So another 5 years, the sun will be in its least active stage. So we are in a period of high risk for these types of events. Unfortunately, it will likely last another year or so before it starts to wind down. So we need to be, we need to be prepared for these types of severe events. Coming at the same time as we're facing potential nuclear and EMP war with Russia and China, thanks to Biden's disastrous policies.
Is there any reason to believe that enemies would take advantage of the potential disruptions during this time?
So I don't think this, a G4 or a weak G5 event, I don't think that's would be sufficient for our enemies to really
right. But I mean, if we
take advantage of, unless
they increase and we start seeing events that start causing problems, would that be also not only concerned that we got the grid down or part of the grid down or satellites that aren't working correctly? If that happens at some point, not saying it's going to happen this time, but if it happens at some point, would that cause you to be concerned that that might be an event our enemies would take advantage of?
Yeah, absolutely. A severe G5 super geomagnetic storm would be an event, again, a civilization-ending event. Our nation would not survive, and Russia and China could basically walk all over us. Now, obviously, they would be seriously affected as well, but they could get back on their feet much faster because nearly all of their critical infrastructure, including power, of course, and transportation systems, are hardened against this type of event. So we would face a severe and perilous risk of invasion if such a storm were to materialize.
Let's transition in the remaining moments about the latest that we've been hearing in the front on Taiwan. The threats to Taiwan from China, the Philippines. I saw some water cannons this week, some tomfoolery, if you will, going on. Tell our audience what this is all about.
Yeah, well, China, of course, has had claims both to Taiwan and the South China Sea. There's a number of small islands, even what has been referred to as rocks and reefs, all of which are essentially unpopulated. Including the Senkaku Islands, which are 4 unpopulated, rocks or small islands that are owned by Japan, not far to the north of Taiwan, northeast. And then there's also a number of islands that are China disputes with the Philippines and Vietnam principally, and those include the Spratly Islands and other island groups, some of which are pretty close to the Philippines. But essentially, China is wanting to take claim to these because there's a tremendous, minerals and fish and other natural resources that they would have claim. And essentially, under international law, there's kind of a 200-mile economic exclusion zone, which can allow them to, kind of claim exclusive rights to all of these resources if they were to be successful in their claims to these islands. But they also have, some strategic advantage as well, potentially. Not necessarily the reefs that China is disputing with the Philippines, but the greater danger is, we need to kind of think through in U.S. Leadership circles, what are we willing to go to war with China to defend? Because if we were to go to war with China over unpopulated Filipino and Japanese islands or rocks and reefs and risk a nuclear war over unpopulated areas, I think that would be very detrimental to U.S. national security.
Yeah, indeed that would be. All right, so what are you suggesting to our audience as we move into the summer and fall months? Anything you're doing or think that they should do?
Well, we talked about this on your show quite a bit before, but obviously I would encourage all of your viewers to get, your supply of food, as much water as they can. I've got, I think, a couple of 550 gallon drums, relocate to rural areas, or at least, have kind of a bug out plan so that if some, World War III happens, the power goes out, or, there's, a G5 super geomagnetic storm, you can move your family to a safer area. In an ideal world, we'd all have our own privately owned farms, so we'd be self-sufficient in terms of food resources, but primarily, food and a bug out plan and water and any as much life-saving prescription medications as you're able to acquire, and then of course, to get right with the Lord Jesus Christ and make sure your life's in order, so that we'll be worthy of having our prayers answered and being watched over and protected by God.
Yeah. Well, people better get their physical and spiritual house in order. No doubt about that. David, have a great weekend. We'll be checking back with you. Let me show you this. This is from the Daily Mail real quick, David. NOAA says tonight's cannibal solar storm could be worse. Worse? I think they mean worse. Worse, not worst. Or I guess maybe worst. Could be worst in 165 years. I guess that's right. And cause GPS and power outages as they reveal exact time it'll hit. So, I don't know, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard, so not too far away, 10 o'clock Central. So there you go. That's the worst in 165 years. This will be interesting. Yeah. If the power grid goes down, we won't be broadcasting, but when it comes back up, we'll call you for an update. But I'm anticipating I'm going to go to bed and everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned, but we could see some impacts. I've got travel plans this weekend that could be affected if the gas pumps along my driving route, are non-functional. So
yeah, exactly. We'll be very, very careful and have a great weekend.
Thanks. You too.
Let's promote his website, dpine.substack.com, dpyne.substack.com, and then he's also with the EMP Task Force, emptaskforce.us. emptaskforce.us, but dpine, D-P-Y-N-E, dpine.substack.com. You'll find a lot of great articles and resources there. I hope you'll mark it as a favorite, read him every day, or as often as he puts out the articles, all right? And he'll be back soon. David Pine checking in. All right, well, that does it for our broadcast. Hey, don't forget that we need your support. You are our biggest supporter. One of the ways you can support us and help your family, get the Wellness Company Medical Kit. They have a new one now, folks. They have a new one that's just come out. I'm going to go over there. Go to twc.health/Brannon. And when you get there, go up to the top here where it says Medical Kits, all right? Click this one here, Contagion Emergency Kit. This is the one you need to have on hand for this bird flu pandemic they seem to be preparing for and encouraging. So make sure you have one of these on hand, the Contagion Emergency Kit, all right? Again, all the details are there, what they are, what they treat, why you need it. But I've ordered some for my family to go with the emergency wellness kit, medical kit. I've added this to it, the Contagion Kit. So go ahead and get your order in now. twc.health/Brannon, twc.health/Brannon. Don't forget, I also take this each and every day. It is called Bella Grace. It is, in fact, you just rip the top off just like that. And you can just feel the energy. It is collagen, cat's claw, and astaxanthin. Astaxanthin is loaded with antioxidants to take on those free radicals. It actually is really good. And I'm telling you, I've had great results. I take it every day. I have a subscription because well, first of all, the subscription saves me money. But number two, I don't want to not have it. I don't want to run out. So there you go. Go to melissahousebg.com. Show that there, guys, while I finish this. There it is. Oh, you're going to do that too? All right. I like to roll it up like a tube of toothpaste because I don't want to miss any of it. Click order now. Get a subscription, folks. Save money and get a subscription. I'm telling you, look how thick my hair is. I'm telling you, dog. My wife said to me last night, turn your head this way. And I did. She said, man, that spot's looking much better. So I'm sold on it. Plus, my hands never cracked and bled all winter. Never cracked and bled all winter. First time in years. I have not asked for a Pepsid since I started taking this, which was December 2nd of last year. I have more energy. I sleep better. I only get up and go to the bathroom once per night. What else? There was something else. I can't remember what the other thing my wife was saying, but it's helped my back pain. I think that's probably the anti-inflammatory in there. But I can't remember. There's one other item that was helping me. Can't remember. Anyway, but I'm getting great results. You should try it. MelissaHouseBG.com. Thanks for watching. Happy Mother's Day, moms. Take care.